Hi and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to take a deeper dive into how we can compile TypeScript file into a JavaScript file. We have already touched on this process, so let's just get started. We know that, just to review, that all valid JavaScript is also valid TypeScript. We can see this in this example. Let's score be equal to 15. And let's say I want to log this score as well. So here, since this code cannot be read by the browser, I have to compile this file into a JavaScript file, then serve it to the browser. Now, the one way of taking a look at what the code outputs is by just doing node app.ts. So it is going to output 15, and that's expected, of course. We can also compile all of this code into a separate JavaScript code. And for that, we're going to run the tsc app.ts command. And this is going to generate a JavaScript file for us. And here we can see that here is our code. It has replaced the let keyword with the var. I'm going to talk about that very shortly. So we have this file right here. Now, the common convention is not like this. So we have a separate folder, usually called dist or distributable or distribution. And then within that separate folder, we compile all of our JavaScript files. So in order to come up with that, what we have to do first is we have to create something called a TypeScript configuration file. And we can create that using TypeScript --init. And in the file directory, you can see that it has created that. And if we take a look at this, we can see there is like a lot of settings. And these settings, they pertain to how TypeScript handles its code and how it compiles it into JavaScript. Now, since there is a lot of settings here, I'm not going to go through all of them one by one. In this video, I'm just going to talk about two of them. In my Udemy course, I've covered a lot more, but in this tutorial series, since this is just geared towards beginners, I'm just going to talk about the ones that are required for this tutorial series when we get to that point. So currently, there are two settings that I want to tweak. Let me just adjust my microphone a little bit. All right. One of these settings is that whenever I compile my code from TypeScript to JavaScript, I don't want to see all of these comments. I don't want to see the comments. I just want to see the code. I just want to see the code. So for that, let's search for comments. Whoops. Typed it. There we go. So I'm just going to comment this one back. And it says remove comments equal to true. This is the first setting that I want to change. The second one is that whenever we have some kind of error in our code, for example, I know score is a number, and then what I do is by mistake, I change this to a string. We can see that there is an error, but if I jump into terminal and if I compile this code, even though there was an error, it just compiled it into JavaScript. Now that is not something that I want. If there is an error in TypeScript, I have to fix that. Then I want to compile that code into JavaScript. Cool. Now let's come here, and the setting for that is no emit. No emit on error. There we go. Here is the setting. Let's comment this one in and let's save that. Now, and I shouldn't forget, I want to bring in one more tweak as well, and that is the outer. As I told you, we want to have all of our JavaScript files into a separate folder. And this out directory, this specifies where the compiled JavaScript files have to go. So technically, I changed 3 settings. And I'm gonna say that every time I compile, I want to have a folder, and within the folder, I want to have the file name that matches my TypeScript's file name, and I want all the code to go there if there is no error, and I want to remove all the comments as well. So that's what we basically did within this tsconfig file. We're going to come back to this tsconfig file whenever we have to. So let me clear up the terminal. Now, what we can do here is, first off, now I'm going to keep the comment, the error. And now let's go ahead and let's automate this process. So to automate this process, we are going to call a command that is tsc-w. And this is going to watch for file changes. Now, because there is an error, and we said that if there is an error, do not run the code, it didn't actually compile the code. So let's get rid of the error, save the changes, and you can see that it just created a dis folder for us. And within the dis folder, there is an app.js file that does not include any kind of comments. It just includes our use strict and our variable and the console log. And I think that is everything that I wanted to do in this lecture. From the next lecture onwards, I'm going to get rid of this JS file. We're going to see our code. I'm going to close this terminal. The Typescript watch mode is still going to be running behind the scenes. And I'll try to put it, come on, buddy. Try to put the app.js file beneath the app.ts file. So we can take a look at how our TypeScript is actually compiled into JavaScript. And if we need, we are going to create an HTML file so we can take a look at the results, maybe like console log something in the browser. You know what? Let's create that as well. I'm going to say index.html just to make sure that all the setup is gone. I'm going to say type script tutorial for beginners. Cool. And the only thing for now that I want is script the sources within the dis folder. We have app.ts, and we can just open this with live server. It's that simple. And from here, we can just dive into inspect, dive into console, reload this file, and I could put the console down here, increase this, and zoom in. So this is going to be our process, the way we are going to work with this. All right, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.